Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Ready Speaker. I am your host, Roland DeRucci. On this episode, we're going to look at Poker Face, actually the entire series. So that's what I'm looking at right here. I just finished it. Kind of interesting. I think it's gone to places where I wasn't sure it would go to, but it went to some really interesting places. So let's look at it. So let's just recap on it. So Poker Face is about a woman played by Natasha Lyonne. I think it's her last name, right? Natasha Lyonne? Probably is. Natasha Lyonne. And it's created by Rian Johnson. And that is the crux of it. It's essentially an old procedural TV show, very much in the vein of Columbo and those sort of shows back in the day. And except now it's almost a little bit like Psych as well. So she has an intuition. So it's not I didn't make that reference last time because I was thinking more like Rockford Files because of her attitude and her gruffness, at least the way she interacts with people. But it was very much like Psych, and I think that's probably the closer thing to this without a partner. Psych has the partner, and then I think that's what kind of made it unique, especially for the first couple of seasons. It actually worked. The two characters worked really well. So let's go through them. Let's go through the episodes. I have them up on IMDb. Now these are the the ratings right now that are on there. So I don't know. It could be a little off. It could be a little on. I don't know. We'll see. So a Dead Man Tan. This is when it starts. This is when she gets into the world of hiding and helping people. She's works at a casino. Owner of a casino wants to leverage her skill set to get a big fish, a big whale, and get them in trouble. And everything sort of goes backward, spirals out of control because the owner will do whatever it takes to get this big whale. And I think and it has a rating of 8.5. I think that's actually valid. The setup is good. Her character development is good. The peripheral is good. You're seeing a lot of real world talks, a lot of F-bombs and things like that. And then just the rhythm of it. And you have Benjamin Bratt in it, and he's doing a great job. You have what do you have? Adrian Brody in this one, and that's really a good job. So I do agree with the ratings on this one. I think it's solid. I think definitely worth a watch. Then we go into the night shift. That's episode 2. These were all released, I think, the same week or whatever, within a week of each other. And so then you have the night shift here. And Charlie now is in New Mexico, and she is at a truck stop, and a trucker befriends her, and that trucker gets set up for a murder by somebody else within the area of the truck stop. Now this is dark. I think it has an 8.3. It's definitely on par with the first episode of setting up her character and her development and the stakes of what she's doing and the stakes of how people are so fucked up. I think it's kind of interesting that we're not just looking at other people and how she interacts with them. You're looking at their story and their personal lives and their personal pain. She's really not. Charlie's not really in the episodes as much as we're doing character work on the other characters. I think that's the big thing with this show. It's really, she is the lead. She's becoming a big part of it, but she really pushes us to know about these characters and where they are. Are they right and wrong, and are they good people, bad people? I mean, I think that's really where it works the best, in my opinion. Now then we're going to episode 3, and Charlie takes a job at a family Texas barbecue joint just to use her skills of perception to sniff out the truth behind a shocking death. This also I thought was pretty good. It has a 7.9 on here. I think it was okay. I think the tempo or the development wasn't as strong as the other ones. It was a bigger story, sort of trying to branch out into something else, a little bit more backstabby than usual. And I think that's probably the turn of it. That's why. But I liked it. I liked the setup of the murder. I like the setup of the crime. A lot of these have murder in it or attempted murders. So that's just the way it is. And that's how procedurals have always been. So the setup, I think, is really good. I think it's probably one of the more intricate plans. And it works for me. It definitely, Psych, but here's almost like a quantum leap element. So again, a big world of trying to figure things out, and timing is everything. So probably underscored on a 7.9 in my opinion. Now we're going to Rest in Metal, and Charlie goes on tour with a has-been metal band, Doxology, a motley crew of dejected rockers who spent decades trying to write a new hit. Charlie suspects foul play when one musician winds up dead. This one was kind of weak for me. I'll be honest with you. It was a little weak for me. It's sort of everybody was kind of dumb, and I think that's probably why. Until this point, I felt everybody was, intelligent or maybe lacking in social skills, but not dumb. And here I felt they were very immature, a little bit angry, and that's the story. That's storytelling, I guess. I'm not sure, but to me, it wasn't the strongest of the ones I've seen so far. So I hit the brakes a little bit. I needed a little bit of a break, and I stepped away from it for about a week or so. So I guess, I don't know, episode 4, almost in the middle, didn't really push me to watch more, but I liked the work that was happening. I did want to see how the character was going to evolve and build up. And then we're going to, where is this? Episode 5. Episode 5 here. And that's Time of the Monkey. And working in a retirement home, Charlie makes friends with 2 rebellious old ladies who may have taken matters into their own hands. This one I found interesting because the character development showed that even though in the other one she's always made friends with people, and it's been a real thing to make friends. And here it's a little bit of a twist on the friendship thing because not everyone is as friendly as they seem or as trustworthy as they seem. And that's the big play on this. And I kind of like that. She felt betrayed at a point. And that's a big part of her character, is that honesty and trust. So a sense of betrayal or someone taking advantage of them really hurts her. And that sort of leads her to question things because now she has doubts. If they betray me, who else would they betray? They'll betray anybody. So it leads to a bigger shot. And it's rated 8.5. I think it was pretty solid. Cinematography is really good. And that's actually a big thing with this from all, I think, the episodes, is that the cinematography is really, really pretty. They paint the landscape for you. So good job on that one. Now we're going to episode 6, and that's Exit Stage Death. So episode 6. And Charlie's waitress job at dinner theater is interrupted by a tragic death on stage, then performed by 2 washed-up television stars. When she tries to investigate, deadly motivations come to light. This was okay for me. It looks like it's one of the weaker episodes, but it was okay. It's building up on character, and again, this is introducing us to different kinds of characters and what people do or what people we can imagine to do for fame, success, and it sort of aligns with the concert theme of has-beens, washed-up people, and being intoxicated by success and wanting to go out there. And maybe that's why the rating is a little weird, because it sort of sets off. It sets things off by Peely's being greedy, and I guess that's lowest common denominator. I don't know. It aligns with the other one pretty well, and I think that's the band thing. So it's almost like the same theme, almost the same setup. It just brings, again, very intricate. It's more of an intricate setup with this one, though. So I would definitely watch it. I think it's a good one. I think all of them are good. They're good standalones. To be honest with you, they're very good standalones. Then we're going to episode 7. I'm not going to bring up both hands for that, but that's okay. It's the future of the sport. While working at a go-kart complex, Charlie becomes involved in a bitter feud between an aging race car driver and hot-headed young upstart, whose rivalry has explosive consequences. With this one, I know I took a big gasp there. It moved okay. It was a big world, but confined. I felt that she did okay. I didn't really like some of the peripheral characters. I think this is probably the weakest setup ensemble for me. I thought it needed to be a bigger story, or it was a bigger story, and they just pushed it in to the 1 hour environment. And maybe the casting wasn't perfect for me. I don't know. I think it needed to be a little bit more. I felt it's a 7.4 rating. I think it's probably my setup wise thinking back. I think it's a tougher watch. This and the band one were probably the slowest watches for me. Again, I think people are just not too bright in this, or they think they're clever. I don't know. It was just a weird alignment of things for me. I didn't understand the tension. I didn't understand how it spiked so fast, and that's sort of where this is very. Speaking of dinner theaters, this is very like dinner theater sort of environment, very 70s, 80s style, and And you go in there thinking, yeah, this is going to be a beginning, middle, end. There's a conclusion. You introduce some interesting characters, and that's what sort of builds. I just don't think they were that interesting to me. I just didn't really see it. Maybe because the world was so small, and I kind of liked a lot of the episodes that even though they were happening in small places, they're big worlds. If that makes sense. Now we're going to episode 8, and it's the Orpheus Syndrome. And this one is a special effects artist unearths a past project to find closure from the guilt of a fatal on-set accident. When the old demon surfaces, Charlie is left to unravel a new deadly plot. This was good. Nick Nolte's in this one, so I'll give a shout out to him. And it's good. It's dark. It's got an 8.5. I don't know if it deserves the 8.5. It's good. I think she directed this, if I'm not mistaken. This is directed by Natasha. So definitely some noir styles in there. A lot of interesting camera work. It's trying to build that tension. So I kind of enjoyed that. It was a noticeable difference from the other episodes. So definitely give it a watch. I think it's it's good. You got some decent acting in there, a decent ensemble, and there's some really, really good moments of camera work. So this is more like a camera work episode for me than the story. The story's okay. I think it just sort of gets rushed by the end, but the story's okay. Now we've gone to episode 9, Escape from Ship Mountain. This is probably my favorite, besides the first one, which I think pilots are always, everybody's got their load ready for their pilot. And I think this one is really, really good. This the next to the last episode, so there's a lot of, the stakes are really here. You find Charlie in a totally different situation of this. And I think it's one of the best storytelling bits. Now, you have Gordon Levitt in this, and plays scumbag so well. The guy should be just doing tons of movies as a scumbag. If you ever watch a movie called Ron John, I think that's what it is, Ron John. Watch it. It was his film. I think he directed it. It's just, he can play that creepy, smirky fuck so well, and he does it in this, and it just elevates her vulnerability. It elevates her as a character, that she's not bulletproof. It elevates so many things that you feel the fear in her. I thought this was a great episode. Great episode. There's a couple of cliche things, but a really, really good episode. So definitely watch this one. If you're going to watch any of them, again, they're standalones. Definitely watch this one. And then we have The Hook. And that's Charlie faces the greatest challenge yet when she is caught in the crossfire of a deadly power play that puts her in the sights of 2 ruthless crime syndicates and the FBI. So this is the wrap up for the season. So this is where you're going to find out some things and sort of have some closure, I guess. And we get some of it. I really, this Benjamin Pratt's in this. Ron Perlman's in it, right? Is it Benjamin Pratt? Let's see. I think he's in it. Yeah, and Ron Perlman's in this. And they got an 8.5. There's a lot of slow parts in this one. I'll go for a wrap up. There's some good moments. There's some characters come back from other episodes, and you sort of do get some closure in it, and you see where it's going for Charlie. This is my only problem with this sort of wrap up, is that the stakes are the same. It just gets elevated a little bit, and this was sort of the thing I had with Breaking Bad, where it was never just not enough. It was never enough money to get out of the game, and this is sort of where she can never really get away from the people who want to manipulate her talent, and the stakes go in a different place. I do like the way it worked. There was a good twist in this. I'm not going to ruin that. I think it's a good pacing. I think, again, good worldview. She does a great job being this character. I think they tried to show her. An interesting thing about the worldview, at least the way I'm seeing the camera work with this, everybody who's been cast in these episodes has great presence, great, I think, diction. I don't know if that's a weird thing to bring up, but the way they speak better than I do, the way they bring their words out, the way they land their words, I've been impressed every episode. And one other thing, which is a peeve of mine, they all have great physicality. They all can walk into a scene. And I think that is really impressive to me. So kudos to the casting people on this, because when you can get that kind of talent on there, and they can all really, really continue and do a good job on something, I think that's amazing work for me. So I think this is by far one of my favorite series. in the last couple of months. There's been some other stuff that I've sort of just trailed away from. I think this is a solid series. Just watch it, give it a shot. We'll see where season 2 goes. It might pick up and elevate things, and it might be fun. She might grow. I hope she does. My big fear is that she will get kind of stupid, and there were points where she was a little bit stupid. But street smarts. That's the thing with street smarts. It's not really a test, and she's heavy on street smarts. But you find out a lot about her on this last episode too. So interesting watch. Definitely a thumbs up on the series. I think she's doing a great job. I think the creator did a great job. Showrunner. I think some of the casting is spot on. I would say it's probably 98%. There's probably one or two people I'd be like, one of the episodes, I don't know about that. But pretty much everybody's been really, really spot on and been able to deliver, had the right physicality, had the right approach with the dialogue. It's a pleasure to watch. It's a pleasure to watch that kind of talent just being able to be reproduced consistently. So there you go. So this is Ready Speaker, Roland Uruchi here. Subscribe, like. Hopefully I'll have some other episodes you can come on. If you want to, send me a message. Maybe you can come on. And I'd love to have a guest. Anybody all over the world, doesn't matter. Well, let's talk about a film. Maybe you hate my hat. Maybe you hate my facial hair. Maybe you just want to talk about a movie you really like. And I'll watch it. And let's just let's chat it up. All the best. Bye.